Okay, hi there. This is Mr. Farrow, and this is the video lesson for November 3rd, lesson that we did for 7th grade. And this is on continuing our proportional relationship study. And we have here the focus is let's continue to work on word problems using graphs of proportional relationships. And once again, too, the red arrows are just highlighting important information that you should be writing down in your notes. So if you haven't taken notes, you should start doing so now. And you can always, again, the benefit of this is you can stop the video and do that. So once again, stop the video if you need to. Today's focus, let's continue to work on word problems using graphs of proportional relationships. So we're going to be actually exploring some word problems. Now you'll notice in the process that we talk about these are things that we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks, but since they've been short weeks, I kind of wanted to come back to them, especially in a word problem. So y equals kx is the equation form of a proportional relationship where k is your constant. And also, too, now I want to introduce this term unit rate, because unit rate and constant are the same thing. So that's it. We'll see that here in just a bit. And then, of course, x is your independent variable. It acts on its own. Y is a dependent variable. It reacts to what happens to the x variable. And these characteristics down here of a graph on a proportional relationship, this is important because these are the things that you'll see in the quiz on Wednesday that talk about, is this a graph of a proportional relationship? It's a linear relationship. It goes through the origin, and y equals kx again, and look for that constant. So if you need to, stop the video here and take these notes. And in class, we did a Kahoot. I can't do that here, but just, that's one of the benefits of being in class, I suppose. All right, here we go. So here is our first word problem. And we have Hannah and Nancy visit the farmer's market to buy pineapples. The graph below represents the number of pineapples and their corresponding costs. Read the graph and answer the questions that follow. And you'll notice I have a red arrow here, and that usually points to something important, but there's nothing there. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put in a table because I like to take graphs and I like to make tables out of them. That way I can see the information a little bit more clearly. So this is going to be my X column, this is going to be my Y column, and this is going to be my K if we do have one. And then I'm going to look here at the graph. X is the number of pineapples. So I'm just going to put number there for pineapples. And the Y-axis talks about dollars. So I'm going to go there. And K equals Y divided by X. And then I just transfer over the values, like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the corresponding y values, 2, 4, 6, 8. So now my next step is to say, well, is there a constant? Well, I just divide k by y over x. 2 divided by 1 is 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So it must be 2. 2 what? Well, it's $2 per pineapple. And that corresponds with A, find the unit rate, because this is also the unit rate, or unit price in this case. So the unit rate is $2 per pineapple. And I'm just going to draw a pineapple here. It's not better show a pineapple, but don't judge me. What does point A represent on the graph? Well, point A is right here, and it is coordinates 7 and 14. Well, that means that I can buy 7 pineapples for $14. Because I go right here, come back down here, and there's that. So now let's see, how many pineapples can Nancy buy for $8 from the farmer's market? Well, here I'm just going to go over to 8 now, $8, and I'm just going to follow that to the line, And then where it intersects the line, I'm just going to come straight down, and that's 4. So she can buy 4 pineapples. And notice I use the words. I just don't put the number 4 because that could be 4 puppies or 4 kitties. You never know. D, what is the cost of 2 pineapples? Well, here we go down here to 2 pineapples. I go up to my line where it intersects. I go over, and that's $4. And then lastly, how much will Hannah need to pay for 5 pineapples? Well, I just come up here again. I find 5. I go up to where it intersects the line. And I also know that if they're $2 a piece, I could just do the multiplication, 5 times 2. So she's going to need $10. So there you have it, and how you can take a word problem, and you could then, the first thing I did is I created a table based on my graph. I found the K and found a constant or the unit rate and found it to be the same. So then I went from there and answered the questions. And let me put this up here. K equals Y divided by X, and that's also your constant and also called your unit rate. Okay, let's do another example. Here is the calorie count on servings of low-fat milk is illustrated in the graph. Study the graph and answer the questions that follow. Well, once again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to make a table. Oopsie, sorry about that. I'm going to make a table and I'm going to make 3 columns and then put the rows in there. And and if you have graph paper at home, I really start encouraging you to start using it because we're going to start doing more graphing and things like that. So you might need it. Now X is servings, so I'll put the number of servings here again. Hashtag also stands for number. And then calorie count is here, so I'm going to put calories here. And this is going to be Y divided by X because to see if there's a constant. Again, it starts at the origin. It's a straight line. Could very well be. So now we want to find out the unit rate, or the constant. So again, I'm going to fill in the X values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this time I start at 102, 204, 306. I'm just copying these down from the y-axis. And 510. Then what do? Well, I divide y by x. So 102 divided by 1 is 102. That one's easy. So 204 divided by 2, well, that's also 102. And as I go through here, I find that it is constant, 102. So it's 102 calories per serving. So that's how I can write that. So that's my unit rate, or my constant is 102. These, like I said, these also represent the unit rate. Okay. K equals Y divided by X. Okay, so now let's answer the rest of the questions. What does the point F represent? Well, that's 4 and 408. Well, I know that X is the number of servings and that 408 is the number of calories, so F represents the 408 calories in 4 servings. The recommended dairy intake is 204 calories per day. How many servings of milk would that make? Well, I can do this a couple different ways. I say 204, so I then look here at my graph and I just go over to the line where it intersects from the y-axis and I go straight down, and that's 2 servings. So I also could go up here to the table and see 204 and 2 servings also. How many calories does 8 servings of low-fat milk have? Well, I start here at 8. I travel up. Here, let me get rid of this. Since we've already answered that question, erase that. Come up here to that point, come over here. Well, that's 816 calories. So, and last one, E, is how many servings of low-fat milk contain 1,220 calories? Well, again, I come up here, I find 1,220, I continue over here, I find that that intersects the line there, I come all the way down here. That is 10 servings. So my recommendation when you're doing your homework then is to build a table like this. And then remember that K, the unit rate is Y equals KX, K equals Y divided by X, which is also your unit rate. And then just take your time and investigate, and also, draw it out on paper. Make yourself a little graph and just kind of look at it so you can really kind of look and see. So your assignment then is to go to Schoology, look for week 9, daily lesson number 1. And now you have 3 options to choose from. You can do option A, the typical assignment like we normally do. Just take that Google slideshow and upload your work, and do it clearly so we can read it. Because if we can't read it, you're not going to get graded on it. We're going to send it back, and you're going to lose at least 1 point because it's going to be considered a late assignment. Option B, if you feel like you're struggling a little bit, or you just want a little more extra help and some videos and exercises, do option B. That's the Khan Academy assignment. And because sometimes you may not get it from me in its right way, and maybe Sal does it a better job. And then if you want to push yourself, do option C, where you do both assignments. And remember, you only have to pick one option to do, not all 3. Just do option A if you want the typical assignment. Option B, if you wanted the Khan Academy assignment, have extra videos to look at, some extra instruction. Or option C, you feel like pushing yourself and do both assignments. Remember to upload your work into the Google slideshow. And please make sure you take the time to make sure those pictures are nice and clear so we can see what your work is saying. Also, please remember that we have for this the daily warm-ups associated with this one are 11B and 12A. So once again, that is your assignment. This is the lesson video for week 9, daily lesson number 1, where we're using talking about word problems and graphs of proportional relationships. If you have any questions, please let me know. Shoot me an email. Thank you guys. Doing a great job now. Take care.